The demand for premium and high-end features in cars is growing. There is a distinct shift towards the top variants as customers want more onboard tech, more equipment and more features. And it's this trend of premiumization that we'll be discussing in today's session of the Autocar Regional Dialogues powered by Reliance General Insurance. And to discuss this, I have an esteemed panel of all dealer principals who are closest to the customer to talk about this new trend. And I'd like to introduce our panelists. We have Mr. Sanjay Agarwal of the SN Group, Ms. Sonal Jindal of Machino Techno, Mr. Soham Mishra of One Auto, and Mr. Sanjay Bhandari, who heads the Bhandari Group. Thanks very much for joining us and welcome to the panel. I'd like to kick off this session by asking what is this distinct trend towards premiumization and what is driving it? Have we seen a distinct shift post-COVID where customers have become more aspirational?
Actually, people want more futuristic car and more technology advanced car. Now, if you see that market share of MUV and SUV is 60% of total passenger cars, which was earlier, it was less than 30%. 4 years back, 3-4 years.
And that's an expensive segment as
expensive segment that representing. And more of finance, easy finance, like EMI options, easy finance options. Whenever they are going to dealerships, their easy finance is available. So if a consumer is going to or walking in dealership with a mindset of entry-level car or a low-priced car, but once he see touch and feel the premium cars in the display, then he changed the mindset or the kind of expert team, sales team, through which these products are being convinced, he may turn into premium cars.
It's quite clear that there is a change in mindset. People are becoming more aspirational. As Mr. Agarwal said, clearly people when they see look and feel, they want more. I think COVID has changed people's mindsets. You only live once, YOLO effect. So just want to get your sense of, how you think the consumer has changed, and obviously this kind of demand for, more features is really driving, sales today.
Earlier, what used to happen, the parents or the grandparents would decide what car to buy. Well, now the professionals are earning well. They are spending even better than what I think some of them are earning. So they want a fully loaded car where it is safe for the family. It is, a good inside entertainment system is with them, and of course fuel efficiency.
To take off from there, what Ms. Jindal said, people want more. I think we are in this Instagram age, clearly.
Yes.
People want to flaunt what they have. We are in a digital age.
The YOLO age.
The YOLO age, exactly. So just to get your kind of perspective on, obviously this trend is quite obvious, but any kind of, let's say, like your perspective on what do you think is really accelerating this so fast?
I feel that if we talk about the overall demographics and how the customer life cycle has changed and the age of the customer who is today buying or making a decision to buy a vehicle, how that has changed. Like Mrs. Jindal just mentioned, it was earlier the grandparent or the parent who would decide his age bracket is above 40. You take decisions above 40, it's a completely different kind of a decision making versus someone who is aged maybe 24, right into his first job, money coming into his account. He is not living that savings kind of mentality.
The saving culture which we had
that's not there anymore. He wants to flaunt his lifestyle. He wants to showcase his lifestyle. So it is more about reflecting your personality while making a decision to buy a car. So it's no more just a mobility for him that he wants to go from point A to point B for which he is going to buy a car. It's more to showcase that he has arrived already. He wants to, get the best of features so that he gets the bragging rights in his social circle. So I think that is overall changing the experience and the demand for these premium cars, which is a right sweet spot between the entry level and the luxury segment. So I think both the segments still remain, but this is a sweet spot where it's getting created, and the demand is also accelerating because of that.
Right. Mr. Bhandari, I think, just to take off from there, I'd like your thoughts to add on this.
My view is that the entire definition or the concept of premium has undergone a huge change. When we were young, premium cars meant certain brands were treated as premium. But today what you just said is the premiumness of a car. So it need not be a brand. Even in a particular model, if you will have something premium in that model, or you may not have something premium. So we are seeing a lot of customers who have reduced one model down but gone on high on features. So the entire definition of the premiumness has got changed to the features that that car is offering. So if you look at or you just say that only the high price vehicles are premium, you have very low feature cars also in the premium segment, so to say premium segment. But today we see even in a lower model, which are not branded as a premium model, but people go for very high features. They will go for airbags, they will go for the highest top model of that model. So you are absolutely right. Today the premiumness of a consumer has increased, and he would like to take the premium of that model which he is buying.
That's a very interesting point, because right now there was this trend of what I would call a price to size ratio. People would, for the money, want the car that is as big as possible to flaunt a status. Do you think this is changing? Maybe people want smaller cars because there's a little bit there's parking issues, traffic issues. So the topic which I want to come to for all of you all is price to size. Consumer has a budget, wants to get the biggest car possible, may not have the maximum features because of the price, or do you think he's willing to step a segment down and have it fully loaded with the features? So just want to get your thought on that. Are we seeing this kind of shift? Because really from a
no doubt about it, because this is what they are doing. They're going to a lower model but asking for all the premium features available in that model.
Right.
So he is now basically from product selling has become feature selling.
Right.
So if you will see whether it's a smart TV or a smart mobile phone or any other consumer durable that we see, he is buying for the features. He's not buying for viewing in that TV. He may buy a smaller screen, but he will look at whether his laptop can be attached. So he's going to become more feature driven.
Right, and obviously that trend is reflecting in cars because we are digitally so interconnected with all our devices. Car also is becoming more of a device in that sense. So Mr. Mishra, I just wanted to get your perspective on this, and then all of you all.
I think, like you said, luxury segment is somewhere you may have one luxury car in your household. Mostly that could be even a chauffeur driven, because you can afford a chauffeur. When you talk about the lower end cars and the premium cars, which will be rather self-driven. So a youth who is buying a car today would want to drive the car by himself, right? And that's when you need the maximum features.
Right.
To enjoy all the features while you're driving, you will opt for the topmost variant.
So that's interesting. It's not it's not necessarily the only car in the family. It could be the second car, and if it's a second car, the features matter even more, even if it's smaller.
Yes.
So
it depends on how and what is the decision making while taking the car. If it is a self-driven car, I'm sure the customer would want to go for the topmost variants so that he enjoys all the features by himself.
And you'll see the penetration of automatic cars. Even earlier when we said only the large high price vehicle had CVT or automatic gear. But today even very low price cars are also coming with automatic. So that's the feature which is required. That's the premium that the consumer is wanting.
Exactly, and automatics are quite expensive also because a lot of them are still imported. Only you have the AMTs which are local. So, Mr. Agarwal, just again for you to add to this, interesting points made that even a small car, people want the maximum features, but as Mr. Mishra said, sometimes it could be the second car. What trend are you seeing in this kind of let's say a person deciding between a segment up, lesser features, or a segment down but they want more features, deciding between these cars? And is it sometimes a second car which makes them fall into the latter category, which is I don't need a big car, I've already got one in the family, I want a small car but with everything packed in it?
So you're right. Basically in the second category, like when they're buying the second car, in that case, if suppose first car, if 4-5 years back or 10 years back they have bought a car for the family, that maybe it's a very large car or big car with less features. At that time, that technology was not that up to the point. But now, if they are buying for a car and the decision maker is a young guy, son or daughter in the family, then definitely they will buy for a futuristic small car because there is a parking issue in the city, metro cities particularly.
Right, that's interesting. And Jindal, I think,
Yeah.
looking at the automatic side of it, I think, let's say it makes driving that much easier.
True.
Lady drivers prefer it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, everyone prefers it, even the younger drivers prefer it, college kids, all of them just prefer that hassle of driving is taken away and they want to, let's say, they don't mind spending a premium for it.
So people are spending more and more time in the cars.
Right.
To go from point A to point B, they have realized, and with the traffic situation all across India, is it's getting bad to worse. So that's when they feel that, look, I'm spending an hour in the car going from point A to point B. So I want to be entertained. I was in Bombay just for that concert. It took me 2.5 hours to go.
Ed Sheeran one.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I know. I nearly missed my flight going to the airport, but anyway.
I went for the Ed Sheeran, and it took me 2.5 hours to cover 5 kilometers.
Right. And that's when you want your
That's when-
space, your cocoon.
Yes, I wanted so that I could be comfortable there and listen to my music and that. But it was middle of the night, so.
Right.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think, and do you also see this trend that people now don't necessarily want the biggest car possible, because that was really a big trend.
Where is the parking space
Right.
in our cities?
Right.
I mean, the only parking space you get when you go in the big cars is when you go to a party in the evening where it is managed by the host. They have these, valets and things like that.
Or a
That's
mall with
where-
a lot of parking.
Or malls are also quite full nowadays,
Right.
So, but where's the space for the large cars?
Right. So clearly, I think it's a good, I think what's coming out is clearly big is not everything anymore as it used to be. There's a virtue in being more compact. I think people have gone past that image, size being the ultimate image status, and clearly they want more features. So I think an interesting trend, it's actually aligning with what is happening in more mature markets as we also get more mature. So what I want to turn to now is, Mr. Bhandari, starting with you, is the OEM. Are they spotting this trend enough? Because we often see a mismatch between demand and supply of certain variants, especially the top end variants. And I just want to get all your perspective that sometimes this is also causing issues with customers and waiting. Whenever you see the waiting list is always for the top end variants. It is sometimes supply chain issues because semiconductors are more in these vehicles which have been in the past. Those supply chain issues still persist. So what is your kind of sense you're getting from your OEM principals on this kind of, let's say, gap between supply and demand for the high-end variants?
See, right now the customer is customizing his vehicle. Like she said, her need was this, so she wanted to customize. So every customer wants to customize his vehicle on the features. Products are more or less the same. Right. It's the feature.
Correct.
Now,
and that's where the trim levels are.
And when he's
features.
customizing it, he's willing to wait. Now the OEMs have to become very swift in reducing the TAT of supplying the need of the customer. So the OEMs right now are responsive, are getting this message that customers are willing to wait to a certain point for the features that they needed, because car buying is no more just a value for, ostensible value to show that I'm a car owner. It's become now a need based. So what was a wow factor has become hygiene right now. So car is no more a thing like a refrigerator was earlier luxury item, but today I don't think even a Jhopadpatti has a refrigerator. So it's a need item. Yeah. So cars have become need item. They want the features that they want in that car, and they're willing to wait, but they're not willing to wait endlessly. So system process by the OEM to meet this requirement has to get developed much faster now.
Right. Mr. Mishra, again, getting onto this top end variants, people are willing to wait. How much are they willing to wait? One says that the waiting list has become the new discount. Forget about discount. I want to reduce the waiting list as much as possible. That's really the aim. Looks like customers are also now used to waiting for maybe even up to 6 months. They're fine with that. But do you also feel that, that gap has to come down for certain variants? I mean, we've seen with, let's say, for Toyota, for example, on the High Cross, it's crazy waiting list.
Yes.
Certain specific variants that they are, we don't know why they can't be addressed, but that causes a lot of customer anxiety and even dissatisfaction. So these are issues, clearly, whilst we've seen the trend, everyone wants the top end. Just to understand what more can the OEM also do?
I think India is a large country with a huge diversity in terms of demography and the cultures. I believe overall, if I take India perspective, yes, we are seeing this demand coming in for premium vehicles, and the OEM understands that yes, feature-packed cars is becoming hygiene now, right? Earlier, even an air conditioning was considered to be a luxury in a car.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Today, air conditioning is a must in every car.
Correct. I don't think there's any car which doesn't have it.
Now
as a
standard product
in the base version.
Absolutely.
Right.
And in fact, now government is asking to include that even in the commercial vehicles,
right?
Trucks even.
Yes.
Right. So that's because it's becoming the need rather than luxury. So more or less, if I see OEMs are following this guideline, prima facie, but they have to be a little more regional centric. Okay. India being India, diversity being there, I believe they have to look at cultures. There are some pockets where they might want certain features. The customer base is such that they would look at certain features. So maybe the demand has to be catered accordingly. So the sales planning and the production planning has to go hand in hand basis this, where a dealer plays a very important role in giving that feedback to the owner, to the OEM, that this is what sells in my territory. This is what the customer is looking for, or even he doesn't mind waiting for.
Right.
So if that can be properly matched with the OEM, I think it's a win-win situation for both.
That's an interesting point. Mr. Mishra said that it's sometimes very regional specific, certain kind of features and needs like that. Ms. Jindal, I wanted to get your sense. Sometimes it's difficult for OEMs to kind of manage this side of wide diversity of demand requirements, because in the end it's on an assembly line. They have to produce in certain batches in certain schedules. Do you see it improving, this kind of let's say the OEMs reacting much faster, and do you see any regional trends also emerging as far as premium features goes? Yeah.
Definitely, what Soham has said is absolutely correct. The OEMs need to recognize state-wise or region-wise what is the demand. Certain states have certain color preferences, right, and others don't. And so to recognize that is, I'll give you an example. We had a particular order for a Ciaz car, a black color. It took them many months, because it was not in their scheme of things to produce mass
and
black
Maruti
colors.
produces on a huge scale.
Yes.
They can't do small kind of.
They can't do 2 or 3 Ciaz, So they have to recognize what is required, and I think they are following that trend now.
Right. And I think these are very interesting points, especially on color. I think that's very, very regional. I think other features is generally uniform. I mean, everyone wants more features, infotainment, but color can be a regional. Certain alloy wheels could be
colors can either make or break
a sale.
A sale, yes. If I need to have that particular variant model color at that point to sell, I mean, otherwise your sale is gone.
Right. That's interesting. Mr. Agarwal, I think
I'm agreeing on
color seems to turning out as a very crucial.
It's a big factor.
Big factor, and really not easy sometimes for the OEM to manage and forecast, but they need to be a little bit more flexible.
So, sir, what I've seen.
Yeah.
Car features, what the model and everything is decided by the man or whoever is the decider of the family, but the color is always decided by the woman.
Right.
So she comes, he is decided everything. She comes into the showroom and then she has to pick the color. Right. And then she doesn't give a second option. Right. I just want that particular color.
Which is not there.
Exactly.
In that variant.
In that variant. Always happens. Yeah.
So on that point, I am agreeing with Mr. Soham as well as Mrs. Jindal, that sales planning and production, according to regional demand, or a dealer can give best feedback over demand in his particular territory. what are the preferences or choices, colors or features kind of thing company should supply, because tag time is, if tag time is very much higher, so customer has option to change the brand. Nowadays it's not stick to like so I'm stick to this brand only. Mahindra.
Brand loyalty is not there, especially with the younger
I
generation.
think with humans, brand loyalty is not there because it's what I want.
Right.
It's not what you are offering me is fine, but I want a particular thing, which if you cannot give me, I'll go to another OEM.
Any brand which gives that feature which I need,
Yeah.
there can be a shift, because earlier the people bought on the brand.
Right.
Now they're buying
on the features.
So now
Amazing.
features have become more dominant, and all our advertisements, if you see, all the ads that we take, we say sunroof, we say this, we say infotainment, we are only advertising feature. We are never advertising the engine or the gearbox or this thing. So it's feature selling right now and feature buying by the consumer.
And
So
I think it's a lot also, earlier there was limited choice.
Right.
Today the competition is huge across all the OEMs. They all want to be in that right time at the right place.
Right. But I think what's really interesting and fascinating that's come out is that today customers are willing to forego even a brand if another brand has more
Yes.
premium features. So they become very brand agnostic, and it's driven a lot by features, which really I think makes it very critical for OEMs to address this kind of let's say
that is
requirement.
in some segment of the
Yeah.
market. There are
Like
some very
MPVs,
small segment
yeah.
which will go only for brand.
Like MPVs, Innova is Innova, or an Ertiga
So
buyer.
somebody
you know,
is-
they-
I'm willing to wait.
That's right, yeah. Out of Fortuner, everyone will get a Fortuner. I understand
But
that.
this segment is increasing, where they can shift brand, and the earlier who were very brand conscious, only I'll go for this brand, this thing, is now diminishing.
Right. So anyway, we've got a little, I mean, we've run out of time, we've been talking a lot, but I just want to end very quickly with, one kind of a thought from all of y'all, and just to throw it at y'all. Premium features, what do you think is really the one thing that everyone wants? I mean, I'm throwing some at you. One is, of course, an infotainment thing, but let's talk about the sunroof, for example. It's inexplicable, but everyone wants that even in the lower, smaller cars. Today, we'd never think we'd be seeing hatchbacks with sunroof. So I just wanted to get your sense, are there any features that are surprising you that, there's a strong demand for this? And, what are the trends in specific premium features that we are seeing in cars? Yeah.
So, like we said, that feature selling, so accessories have become
Accessories,
a very,
okay.
very important part of this business.
Right.
So innovative, disruptive, transforming accessories have to come in the market by the OEM.
Right.
There are certain things, whether it's a sunroof or a AC, you have to bring it and the need will arise. You have to be highly innovative to come out with new accessory, new premiumness, because the definition of premiumness is going to change every day.
Good point Mr. Bhandari has raised, Mr. Mishra. Accessories, it adds that little level of personalization, which has become so important right now. Again, as I said, it's this Instagram age where you want to flaunt, as much of your personality as possible through a car, and the accessories in that
Is
sense.
a critical factor, yeah. So I think I will add on to that with a different side to it. Accessories is more hardware related, I would say. There are things when you call premium, which could be hardware. But I would say that even today, a software and connected mobility, right? So that is something which is also a feature which is premium. I think most of the OEMs have understood that. They understand that every customer today will have a mobile phone, a smartphone, right? Smartphone has to be connected to the car. Very simple. AI coming in, I'm sure it's going to be more disruptive. The car must understand the customer even before he gets into the car. But that is something that I'm sure will be the future.
And there's this talk of ADAS features. Do you think that's also something customers want, or is it more marketing? Are people seeing the value in it? Will they, let's say, because customers are, OEMs are pushing ADAS as a way of kind of, flaunting their safety credentials as well. But I don't know how the customers are reacting to that.
I think if you look at the customer, he is much more aware than before. I think safety is something one is not willing to compromise on.
Yeah.
They get news information about various accidents on the road and how, a old vehicle which was not safety compliant, why today BS6 happened, why did we shift from that era. I think safety is a must. It's something which we should not compromise on at all. And I think most of the OEMs have realized that 6 airbags, it's become almost like a hygiene today.
Right. So again, just turning to the specific features, we talked about safety, sunroof of course is there. Mr. Bhandari talked about accessories, very, very valid point. In fact, he stressed that accessories really is absolutely critical. OEMs need to take this seriously. So just to get your thoughts on,
Yeah, so
the
sir,
focus.
Sunroof is an accessory, right? But how much do we use it in India?
That's true, but customers still want it.
Customers do want it, and now earlier what the children used to put the head up,
Right.
and that's also been stopped.
Right.
That's been
Naturally,
banned now.
yeah.
So I don't understand the need for a sunroof in India.
It just
Of
makes the
course,
car look roomier.
Roomier and
That's
a
the
little bit more
only,
premium.
that's the only
I
factor
have
to
never
it, yeah.
used my sunroof as yet.
Right, but you have a sunroof.
Yeah, but it came with the car.
Right, got it. Yeah.
It came with the.
Right. So
And as
any
far
other
as,
features you
as-
feel?
As far as accessories are concerned, like Sanjay ji said, the top end variant comes fully loaded with all the accessories, all the features, software, hardware, everything is done. So to sell accessories is become a bit difficult now.
Right.
The low end customers, for the entry level, even for an SUV, there are chances of selling accessories. But a high end SUV, it's difficult to sell accessories.
Right.
Now, personally, my favorite accessory is the HUD, which I really like a lot.
Right. The HUDs, I know that's also coming into cars, and
No, the Grand Vitara has it.
Yes, that's right. I know even Baleno has
Baleno
it.
has
Yeah,
it,
that's
yes.
right. I'm saying they're coming down into lower segments. In fact, it's this democratization of features which is going lower and lower
This is what we talk
down.
about, premiumness on a product.
Exactly.
Need not be only a Grand
Exactly,
Vitara, it could be a Baleno with that features
Absolutely.
premium.
Yeah.
So people are going to look at premium
And-
features on a lower model. Which
Absolutely,
so
and they're getting
it
more and
just-
more democratized, as we say.
So you can't differentiate luxury and this with the premium.
These features itself is pushing the demand for cars overall.
Right.
This
That's
is
interesting.
another way of looking at it. Like you said, democratization. So today, if I was possibly aiming or aspiring for a luxury car, but I cannot afford
We're
it,
getting the luxury
I'm
in a
Yeah,
lower
yeah.
car.
in a lower car. That's pushing the
Interesting.
demand.
And Mr. Agarwal, I'd like you to have the last word on this. We're running out of time completely. So accessories, Ms. Jindal said that accessories are a challenge to sell. Mr. Bhandari said that, accessories are, let's say, very critical in terms of sometimes, let's say, facilitating the sale.
So I'm just fully agreed with Soham, like not hardware, software.
Right.
The software expertise is day by day, the customer expectation is much higher regarding this. And moreover, even a small car, people are looking for ADAS and sunroof, both.
Small car, people are looking for ADAS and sunroof. That's a very, very interesting trend. Right.
They're looking for it.
And they're willing to pay for it?
Yeah, they're willing to pay for it.
Right, that's very interesting. I think that's some very interesting trends that have come out of a very fascinating discussion with all our panelists. Clearly, customers have changed, they've evolved, they want the best, they're willing to pay for it. Size is no longer as important as it was. The best hardware, the best software, fantastic accessories, a car that makes them stand out, their personality stand out, whilst keeping them and their families safe. That seems to be the new trend going forward. Gentlemen and lady, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a really fascinating discussion,
Lovely discussion.
and thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.